Hello, my little Luxes. Welcome to another episode of Scary Stories My Father Told Me. And no, you're not imagining things. I am indeed back on my main channel to begin sharing my scary stories, my ghost stories, or my supernatural stories here once again. And did I introduce myself? Hello, I'm cosplayer Charcy Lux, and welcome. But no, you are not seeing things. If you are returning, if you have been on my channel for a long time now, I had originally had my ghost stories here on the main channel, and recently I had opened it up to put it on another channel. And I don't want to do that anymore. I don't. I want everything to just be here on my main channel. Everything is a part of me, the things that I love and enjoy, and it's just so much easier just uploading here on this channel. You have no idea how many times I had accidentally loaded a ghost story into my main channel anyways, and with YouTube it takes like 2 to 3 hours for me to upload things. And I don't know if I need like Dropbox or something like that, just so the process can go so much faster than what it does. But anyway, we'll get into complaints about technology on another day, because you know what? Things should just work, but nothing ever just works. So, we are once again back where we belong on my Charcy Lux channel. Everything is here. I've been doing the ghost stories here since the beginning. So, I am happy to pull it back. I'm going to keep the title for Scary Stories though, because I enjoy that more. It's more open for interpretation as well. But once again, for the month of March, we have absolutely no theme. So just relax and enjoy this one. And here is today's scary story. The Mystery of the Semi-Detached by Edith Nesbit. He was waiting for her. He had been waiting an hour and a half in a dusty suburban lane, with a row of big elms on one side and some eligible building sites on the other, and far away to the southwest the twinkling yellow lights of the Crystal Palace. It was not quite like a country lane, for it had a pavement and lamppost, but it was not a bad place for a meeting all the same. And further up towards the cemetery, it was really quite rural, and almost pretty, especially in twilight. But twilight had long deepened into the night, and still he waited. He loved her, and he was engaged to be married to her, with the complete disapproval of every reasonable person who had been consulted, and this half-clandestine meeting was tonight to take the place of the grudgingly sanctioned weekly interview, because a certain rich uncle was visiting at her house, and her mother was not the woman to acknowledge to a moneyed uncle, who might go off any day, a match so deeply ineligible as hers with him. So he waited for her, and the chill of an unusually severe May evening entered into his bones. The policeman passed him with a surly response to his good night. The bicyclists went by him like gray ghosts with foghorns, and it was nearly 10 o'clock, and she had not come. He shrugged his shoulders and turned towards his lodgings. His road led him by her house, desirable, commodious, semi-detached, and he walked slowly as he neared it. She might even now be coming out, but she was not. There was no sign of movement about the house, no sign of life, no lights even in the windows, and her people were not early people. He paused by the gate, wondering. Then he noticed that the front door was open, wide open, and the street lamp shone a little way into the dark hall. There was something about all this that did not please him, that scared him a little indeed. The house had a gloomy and deserted air. It was obviously impossible that it harbored a rich uncle. The old man must have left early, in which case, he walked up the path of patient glazed eyes and listened. No sign of life. He passed into the hall. There was no light anywhere. Where was everybody? And why was the front door open? There was no one in the drawing room, the dining room, and the study. 9 feet by 7 were equally blank. Everyone was out, evidently. but the unpleasant sense that he was, perhaps, not the first casual visitor to walk through the open door impelled him to look through the house before he went away and closed it after him. So he went upstairs, and at the door of the first bedroom he came to, he struck a wax match, as he had done in the sitting rooms. Even as he did so, he felt that he was not alone, and he was prepared to see something, but for what he saw he was not prepared. For what he saw lay on the bed, in a white loose gown, and it was his sweetheart, and its throat was cut from ear to ear. He doesn't know what happened then, nor how he got downstairs and into the street, but he got out somehow, and the policeman found him in a fit under the lamppost at the corner of the street. He couldn't speak when they picked him up, and he passed the night in the police cells, because the policeman had seen plenty of drunken men before, but never one in a fit. The next morning he was better, though still very white and shaky, but the tale he told the magistrate was convincing, and they sent a couple of constables with him to her house. There was no crowd about it, as he had fancied there would be, and the blinds were not down. He held on to the doorpost for support. "She's all right, you see," said the constable, who had found him under the lamp. "I told you was drunk, but you would know best." When he was alone with her, he told her, not all, for that would not bear telling, but how he had come into the commodious semi-detached, and how he had found the door open and the lights out, and that he had been into the long back room facing the stairs, and had seen something, in even trying to hint at which he turned sick and broke down, and had to have brandy given him. "But my dear," she said, "I dare say the house was dark, for we were all at the Crystal Palace with my uncle, and no doubt the door was open, for the maids will run out if they're left. But you could not have been in that room, because I locked it when I came away, and the key was in my pocket. I dressed in a hurry, and I left all my odds and ends lying about." "I know," he said. "I saw a green scarf on the chair, and some long brown gloves, and a lot of hairpins and ribbons, and a prayer book, and a lace handkerchief on the dressing table. Why, I even noticed the almanac on your mantelpiece, 21 October. At least, it couldn't be that, because this is May. And yet it was. Your almanac is at 21 October, isn't it?" "No, of course it isn't," she said, smiling rather anxiously. "But all the other things were just as you say. You must have had a dream, or a vision, or something." He was a very ordinary, commonplace, city young man, and he didn't believe in visions. But he never rested day or night till he got his sweetheart and her mother away from that commodious semi-detached and settled them in a quiet, distant suburb. In the course of the removal, he incidentally married her, and the mother went on living with them. His nerves must have been a good bit shaken, because he was very queer for a long time, and was always inquiring if anyone had taken the desirable semi-detached, and when an old stockbroker with a family took it, he went the lengths of calling on the old gentleman and imploring him by all that he held dear not to live in that fatal house. "Why?" said the stockbroker, not unnaturally. And then he got so vague and confused between trying to tell why and trying not to tell why that the stockbroker showed him out, and thanked his God he was not such a fool as to allow a lunatic to stand in the way of his taking that really remarkably cheap and desirable semi-detached residence. Now the curious and quite inexplicable part of the story is that when she came down to breakfast on the morning of the 22nd October, she found him looking like death, with the morning paper in his hand. He caught hers, he couldn't speak, and pointed to the paper, and there she read that on the night of the 21st, a young lady, the stockbroker's daughter, had been found, with her throat cut from ear to ear, on the bed in the long back bedroom facing the stairs of that desirable semi-detached. Well, my little Luxes, I really hope that you enjoyed that little spooky tale. And also, I want to state that over time you're going to start seeing some other ghost stories kind of pop in here. They're not going to be in direct order from what I had in Scary Stories. I mean, clearly, because this one is going to post, but I kind of wanted this one first just to kind of explain it, and then over time I will post the other ones and put it on par at the same time, because other months I will have a theme. This month was just special because I needed a revamp, update, and my time went into remodeling everything, including me. We're revamping me. But anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed that scary story. I read that not too long ago, completely enjoyed it, adored the story, so I really wanted to share it on here. And it sounds so much like a story that my dad had told me years and years ago. And it probably could have. I mean, he very well could have, because that was always our thing, was to talk about ghost stories and scary stories. So once again, thank you so much for joining me here on another Scary Stories My Father Told Me. And I would love for you to come and join me on my other social medias. There'll be a link down below so that you'd be able to find them much easier and quicker. And I would love for you to come and join me on my Patreon. And on the screen, you can see a shout out to my fellow Patreon members. And a huge thank you to all of you, because without your help, I wouldn't be able to continue doing what I love and enjoy, and to create better cosplays and videos. And always remember that I am the afterlife of the party, but I would always love for you to come and join me here in the afterlife of the party. And always remember to slay, subscribe, like, and always be yourself. And stay spooky ooky, my little Luxes. Until next time, have a Luxy Charms kind of day. Bye!